Ma è vero che quando una Lamborghini si ferma in qualunque parte del mondo arriva un aeroplano su una semplice telefonata con i pezzi di ricambio al meccanico?
No, non è che arrivi in aeroplano. Se ad esempio un cliente anche dall'Inghilterra, da dove è, dalla Spagna, non dico dall'America, perché d'America siamo organizzatissimi, ci telefona che ha qualcosa, noi possiamo partire in giornata con un aereo di linea, un nostro meccanico con quello che c'è bisogno, e va là, glielo mette a posto e gli chiede scusa e poi ritorna e gli mandiamo anche una lettera chiedendo scusa.
Ma chissà quanto costa questo?
Beh, sì, costa, ma vede... È
No, dico al cliente.
No, il cliente costa neanche una lira, costa a noi. Costa a noi, però vede, è un costo che rende. È un costo che rende in quanto il cliente che lei gli ha fatto un servizio di questo genere lo racconta a tutti. E raccontandolo a tutti diventa una pubblicità.
Ferruccio Lamborghini is a name we now automatically associate with iconic supercars, symbols of power and style. But how did the myth of Lamborghini cars truly begin? And why, despite his success, did Ferruccio end up having to sell his company in 1972? To understand that, we need to go back into the heart of rural Italy in the early 20th century. Ferruccio was born in Renazzo, a small town in central Italy, on April 28, 1916, under the zodiac sign of Taurus, a symbol that would later become a core part of his brand. His parents were farmers, immersed in the world of soil and livestock, but Ferruccio showed from an early age a very different inclination. He was fascinated by machines, engines, and gears. After elementary school, he was enrolled in a technical school for mechanics, and at the same time began working in a blacksmith's workshop. That's where he got his first hands-on experience with real, practical mechanics. After earning his diploma, he found a job in Bologna at the Righi workshop. It was 1934, and he was earning about 600 old Italian lire per month, roughly $20 today. Italy was under the fascist regime, and new trade routes were opening with Russia, especially in the industrial and technical sectors. Meanwhile, Ferruccio worked hard and learned fast. He eventually decided to open his own workshop in Renazzo with a friend, but the venture didn't last long. In 1939, he was called up for military service. He was sent to the island of Rhodes in Greece, where he immediately stood out for his talent in repairing and adapting outdated vehicles. It was there that he honed the ability to bring even broken machines back to life, a skill that would prove invaluable later on. After the war, in 1946, Ferruccio returned home and opened a small workshop, but he started thinking bigger. Together with 3 partners, he founded a company to build tractors, using leftover military engines scattered around the countryside. It was a simple yet brilliant idea. The ARAR centers, dedicated to recovering war materials, supplied the necessary parts, and thus, Lamborghini Trattori was born. The first model, the Carioca, was innovative. It started with gasoline, and then switched to diesel, which was more economical. The success was immediate. Although the agricultural business was booming, Ferruccio's true passion remained the automobile. He even took part in the Mille Miglia, one of the most famous car races of the time, driving a modified Fiat Barchetta. The experience ended with a crash into a bar, literally, but the passion remained. With the profits from his company, Ferruccio treated himself to a few luxury cars. He even owned 2 Ferraris. But he noticed a recurring problem. The Ferrari clutches couldn't withstand intense driving. As a skilled mechanic, he removed the clutch and replaced it with one from his tractors, modified to work better. He went to Enzo Ferrari, the founder of the famed Ferrari brand, to suggest the improvement, but Ferrari wasn't interested. According to some accounts, he dismissed him with arrogance. "You don't know how to drive my cars. Go back to your tractors."
Go back to your tractors, farmer.
Ferruccio, wounded in his pride, returned home and told his family, Now, I'll build a car better than his. Everyone advised against it. The car industry was already dominated by giants like Ferrari and Maserati. But Ferruccio was determined. He decided to invest $1 billion, money originally set aside for advertising his tractors, to build an automobile factory. And so, in 1963, Automobili Ferruccio Lamborghini was born. He assembled a talented team, including Giotto Bizzarini, a former Ferrari engineer, who developed a powerful and sophisticated V12 engine. The idea was to build a sports car that wasn't just fast, but also easier to drive, more comfortable, and more reliable than its competitors. To start production, Ferruccio bought land in Sant'Agata Bolognese, a town near where he was born. In just a few months, he built a cutting-edge factory. The offices were integrated with the production floor, allowing him to personally oversee everything. He loved being among the workers, leading by example, and paying close attention to every detail, from materials to mechanics. For the logo, he chose the bull, a symbol of strength, challenge, and his own zodiac sign. It was also a direct response to Ferrari's prancing horse. At the 1963 Turin Auto Show, the 350 GTV was unveiled, the very first Lamborghini in history. It was an ambitious project, but still rough around the edges. Production continued with the 350 GT, which received a decent reception, but it wasn't enough to truly take off. By 1965, the company was struggling. Ferruccio even considered shutting it down. But then, a group of young engineers, led by Gianpaolo Dallara, presented him with a revolutionary idea. A car with a mid-mounted engine, a radical departure from tradition. The prototype was first shown as a bare chassis and engine, later fitted with a sleek body designed by Marcello Gandini for Bertone. The result? The Miura. When it debuted at the 1966 Geneva Motor Show, it was an instant sensation. Everyone wanted one. The Miura changed Lamborghini's history forever. In just a few years, it became an icon, featured in movies, driven by movie stars and car lovers around the world. It was the car that turned Lamborghini into a legendary name. Other models followed: Lero, Espada, Jarama, Urraco, and finally, the Countach, with its futuristic design that would define the look of the 1970s and 80s. But just as the company seemed to find its place in the world, new problems emerged. Lamborghini Trattori exported half of its production, mainly to South America. Among those orders was a huge one from the Bolivian government, 5,000 tractors. The contract was signed, production began, and the tractors were ready to ship. But then, a coup in Bolivia changed everything. The new government canceled the order, leaving Ferruccio with warehouses full of unsold tractors and enormous debt. Banks began knocking. Ferruccio tried to sell some of the buildings to Fiat, but in 1973, the oil crisis hit. Luxury car sales plummeted. The problems kept piling up. In the end, Ferruccio made the hardest decision of his life. He sold 51% of his automobile company to a Swiss friend, Georges-Henri Rossetti. The following year, he sold the remaining 49% to René Leimer. Soon after, he was forced to sell the tractor division to SAME. It was the end of an era. But not the end for Ferruccio. After stepping away from the industrial world, he retired to Umbria, where he purchased an estate on Lake Trasimeno, La Fiorita. There, he devoted himself to winemaking, to the land, and to his family. But he never stopped loving cars. He continued to contribute to projects, collaborated with other brands, and remained a respected figure in the world of Italian automotive history. His story teaches us that even the greatest dreams can face impossible obstacles, but it also reminds us of something else. When passion is real, it leaves a legacy that lasts forever. Did you enjoy this video? If so, let me know by hitting that like button. It really helps the channel grow. And hey, if there's a topic you're passionate about, or a story you'd love to see covered next, Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one. And who knows? Your idea might just be the next deep dive. If you want more videos like this, stories that dig into the people, the passion, and the history behind the legends, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.